Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Gadigal and Bedigal of the Eora Nation, and pay respects to elders past and present. This land is, was, and always will be Aboriginal land. This terra was not nullius, sovereignty was never ceded, and this land was nurtured by the customs and cultures of the clans since time immemorial and will forever be. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings to you all. I'd like to thank Professor Savendrini for inviting me to share a few words which were written in the immediate aftermath of the Christchurch massacre. I'm thinking of our brothers and sisters and cousins in Christchurch. I can't imagine the pain that this community has been dealing with for the past 6 weeks. We are tired. We're all very tired. We're heartbroken and mourning in solidarity with them. We look for solace in scripture and prayer, but we also look for it in truth. So today, we are truth tellers. Tomorrow, I hope we'll still be truth tellers. We are migrants. Until they make beetroot hummus or whitewash my kufiye, until they mispronounce us and change our names from Muhammad to Michael, until they burn the borders on our back, until they shrink us to make us fit into their way of life. We are brown. Until they force the languages out of our mouths, we are illiterate until we pass their English tests, until we are disciplined, told to behave, to be polite, even when they put up razor wire fences around us or patronize us. See, Milo should be allowed to speak because freedom of speech. We are model Muslim until they send police dogs after our men or depict them as villains in Murdoch press cartoons, until they rip off our hijabs and spit in our faces, name our women victims or slaves to be saved, write pieces and talk on panels about us, and apply for grants to fix us, study us, suspect us, surveil us, warehouse us, silence us, punish us. We are Australian until they generously afford us our democratic right to vote for fascist 1 or fascist 2, until our citizenship is conditional. Until we refuse to apologize and condemn, we are Australian until we call out colonizers and recognize our own privilege as people who've settled this land because we're no longer willfully or inadvertently ignorant. Until they weaponize racism and nationalist populism and our blood is the price. Until our grief is exploited and co-opted to serve dangerous agendas and political careers. Until we are a threat. We are other. We are less than human. This is hard to say, but the truth is the only good Muslim is an ex-Muslim or a dead one. Every death resurrects the pain of all those that died before. Every death is a reminder, and our entire existence is a record. The truth is, colonial violence against Black and brown bodies is deeply embedded into this nation's psyche and history, past and present. Then it is sold to us as progress, as successful multiculturalism. Then it's exported to Iraq and Afghanistan, to Yemen and to Palestine. The violence is subtle and casual and hidden and explicit and systemic, and it's smart. You see, it keeps convincing us to love a country that does not love us back. They have told us time and again. They told us in Tampa, in deaths in custody, in stolen generations, in Bendigo, on Manus and Nauru. They told us in Dondale. This is a country that has been fertile ground for white supremacist ideology since 1788. Radical Islam opposes our very way of life. It is the greatest threat in this country. If you thought that was Senator Anning, then you're wrong. Those were the words by Scott Morrison, Prime Minister, holder of the highest office in this nation. So why? Why do we pledge allegiance to empire and still act shocked when they treat us as subjects. Today, I ask of you only one thing, and I remind myself before anyone else. I ask you to reconsider your loyalties. I ask for loyalty to the Great Barrier Reef and the Murray-Darling Basin and Queensland's Galilee Basin. Loyalty to the custodians of the land we are standing on today, or whichever land you come from, to their customs, to their cultures, to their voices. Loyalty to their grievances, because every day is Invasion Day, a day grounded in a history of continued dispossession of the indigenous peoples of the land. And in our silence, we are complicit. If we are not anti-racist, actively anti-racist, we are complicit. I ask for loyalty to a movement driven by a generosity of spirit. Because if, like me, you feel like an outsider and that you do not fit into this white nation, then you need to help create a new one. You need to decolonize yourself and do it with dignity and self-respect and love and anger and healing. I ask for loyalty to the truth. I want a home where I can take all my brownness and all my Muslimness and all my womanness with me wherever I go. I want to bring all my different parts, and I want my existence, our existence, to be unrevolutionary, ordinary, boring, mediocre even. The Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, said, "The parable of the believers in their affection, mercy, and compassion for each other is that of a body. When any limb aches, the whole body reacts with sleeplessness and fever." We as a society have known that we've been sick for a long time. It's time for us to wrestle with this disease. Do not let it spread anymore. Do not let it have the final say. We will not be a eulogy for them. Our hearts may be shattered right now, but our mosque doors will always remain open, not just to the pious and the devout, but to the broken, the hopeless, the lost, and the waiting to be found. Thank you and Assalamu alaikum.